Hello and welcome to episode 24 of our Timberborn 1.0 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 23, day 11, where things are continuing to progress pretty nicely, and we've started to expand up past the original crater area over here with this Everblossom farm, soon to be not just an Everblossom farm. We'll talk about that. But I did want to, right off the bat, come over here and investigate a comment that was left saying there's a tunnel to get from this area over to the other side of the map. And I suspect we will find it if we look not too terribly hard over here. I'm not actually sure exactly where it is. Remember, I created this myself, so that's not what's being discussed here. So maybe I'm just completely blind. I don't know. Unless it's talking about this area, which is kind of a thing. We'd have to clear a bunch of stuff out, but I guess this counts. We also did not know this was here. This bad tide drain could be blocked off if we felt so inclined. I don't think we need to worry about it. So good looking out. I guess this is a thing that we could possibly consider using at some point in the future, although we've kind of already made our way over here. At any rate, I digress. What needs to happen long-term over here is that this area, including where the irrigating elevated public bath, which the previous name of that building is probably what I'm always going to think of it as, but this needs to be blasted down so it can be on the same level as this, because when we get to planting these golden sequoias, having a bunch of contiguous space is going to be fantastic. We can also deepen this area and put another dam upgrade on top of this and then plant the unbelievably tall bamboo here, which also requires, or I guess I should rephrase it, can be planted by the tree nursery, which plants the sequoias. And I think this is going to be probably the best place for that to go. So, in the meantime, before we unlock all that, I am going to keep this an Everblossom farm because we do need to get the logs. But we might want to consider expanding this, getting these ruins cleared out, so on, so forth, and seeing what we can do over here. We have a bunch of possibilities, as we always do. I did want to address a number of things. We'll get to them as I remember and I take a look at my notes on the other monitor here. But we have 100 library books. And to make the ENS, we need to have, I believe it's 200. I never remember any of this stuff. No, actually, it's one of the incredibly compact sets, and that is made in the screw press, which requires 200. So what we can do is we can start accumulating inside a screw press all of these library books so that the library can continue making additional library books. Or what we could do is we could, make one of these with 200, make another library, and then let that one do stuff. But that just seems like maybe complicating it with extra steps. So what has happened here is we've kind of run out of sunflower seeds in terms of being able to produce sunflower oil. That has been kind of a big problem for a while. And sunflower oil is important to a lot of recipes over here, so we do need to get this going back again. So probably should have this box checked. I don't know. Every time I talk about this, it's like half the people say this is the best thing ever, and half the people say it's the worst thing ever. So, you know what? We're just going to do it. If you don't like it, that is perfectly okay, always allowed, etc. But now we have all this power up here. I say as this is doing absolutely nothing because we don't have any methane in there. Yeah, we just have a severe lack of stuff being placed where it needs to go. But we have it right here. So I think what that means is we probably need more haulers. Why is this saying it doesn't have... because there's no methane. Yeah, so we have a population of about 335 beavers, and I don't think we have enough haulers anymore. Despite having tower upgrades and all that. Part of the problem is probably because we got rid of a bunch of the pit and ladder lodges that utilize those. So we need to be upgrading things to allow us to have haulers. The problem is, this is such a great upgrade with the zipline station, I never want to put anything else on there. So it ends up kind of becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy of regret over here. This is a builder upgrade, which was a very good thing for us to build, and we absolutely should have done that. But the problem is this, all these tower buildings just really can't have something upgraded to them. The zipline station buildings can't really have something upgraded on top of them without it being a whole ordeal. But don't forget, there are other ways of building these things. And if we were to build a seamstress lodge and pair it with something like a forge or some other triangle top building, or, hear me out, in this area, since we have a forester already over here, we have space that could be used to plant additional chestnut trees. Although I'm not exactly sure where would make a lot of sense for that. I mean, we could put them somewhere. It's just, you know, one of those things that's like, all right, well, what in the world are you going to do? Because you don't have a lot of convenient spaces for things to go. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. I'm going to put in 2 ladders here. I'm going to connect them to here. And then on top of this, because we can, I am going to put chestnut trees. As many as it will allow me to stick over here. And what we can do, we don't have to have it connected to the zipline network. It doesn't even have to be in a quote-unquote amazing location. But because I really want to try this, we can use the seamstress lodge and something like a forge or a gatherer's, whatever it's called, and then put a hauler upgrade on it. Where is that going to fit? Well, you know, the fun part is I kind of don't have any idea. This is a building that is 3 blocks deep, and to get the upgrade on it, has to be oriented basically like this, assuming... It's so hard for me to show you what I'm talking about with this UI taking up the entire stinking screen. It has to be basically placed like this, and then the triangle building has to be here. But what you can do is you can flip this to where that doorway is facing, say, there. Go ahead and unlock this, why not? And then coming in with a building like a forge, which I know does increase the population. If you put this like that, guess what? They can share the same entrance tile, which I thought was really cool. Now, that being said, I don't know that I want to build another forge, but I did want to show you guys that that is possible. Actually, you know what? Since we're already here, let me just... No, you better stop. I'm trying to show these people something. You don't actually have to build this. Let's see. Hauler's Lodge upgrade. There we go. So, if I am careful about how... There we go. I can place that like that, and that would give us haulers, a seamstress, which is a very important building that we could eventually use a little bit later in the game to make more of these things, and a forge, and all of this, I think I already said that, on a single path connection. Now, this is not a great spot for it. This is not where this is going to go. But now that I've shown you how we can do this, I think it would behoove us to maybe try to find a place where this would make sense. But instead, with where in the world is Harvester's Cottage? Yeah. See, this here, obviously we'd have to move the doorway, but this here would not be the worst combination. I don't know. I know this drives... There's a few of you who this drives absolutely insane, and I don't understand why. But I think I have an idea. Anyway, the tower upgrades are just... It's like the Green Goblin mask, right? Because you have all these different things that just... It's like, this is the best way to do this. If you do anything else, you're stupid. And that's how my inner monologue sounds at all times. So I want to put the zipline station in. I have one here. But the angle coming out of this to go to anything else is almost impossible to use. That being said, I don't think it is a complete mistake to have this set up integrated into something like this. I just want to see if there's any chance whatsoever I can get this to work right now. I know this is not great. Don't worry about it. I just want to see if I can make this happen. I don't know that I can flip this one, actually. Let me, no, not flippable. That's frustrating, because that adds so many more things to connect to. Now, if I go to place this on here, it is not going to like me doing this because of the approach angle of these zip lines here. But in theory, this should work. So what that tells me is that I've got to, if I want to use this, I've got to put in some sort of other mechanism to get in and out of here. I think it's going to require that I put in... see, now I'm going to have to sit here and do this. So you realize this. So if I... Oh, yikes, this is rough. If I were to move this to, say, here, just like that, and I disconnect both of these things, and then I come in here, and I put this, see? That works. And I know I can connect that to that, and I know I can connect that to that. The problem is then it's going to become, this is too steep. Which means this should actually be placed one closer. I think will get me about where I want to go. So let's connect that to there. And then can I do this? No, because the line is obstructed. All right. All right. Oh, boy. See what I'm talking about with this? It's like a never-ending, never-ending slog of nonsense. Well, there's a very good reason why I'm doing this the way that I'm doing this. It might not be a good reason in your eyes, but the reality is I need this to be good. Like, it feels like such a waste to have one of these that's not upgraded, and since there's basically no other building that can upgrade the amount of haulers or builders or whatever that isn't also a house, except for the tower upgrade, you see how this easily just becomes a huge problem. So, instead, we're gonna have to do it, folks. We're gonna have to do it. I'm going to have to modify, say, something like this to instead be a... what do you call it? Now I can't remember. Jeez. My brain is completely fried. I didn't even get to do it with any fun stuff. It just does that. Oh, man. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is why I don't edit my videos, so you guys can understand why I am the way that I am. See, if I move this anywhere else, these aren't going to connect because these are basically right at the 20 meter spot, which means I would have to put this here, but it's not going to connect right because it's going to be interfering with the tower. Alright. Forester's not really a great thing to put because I already have one of those. I know I have this here, but this isn't really a great place for it to go. It's just the place it went because I had to put it somewhere, and I know this irritates you guys. Ugh. Somebody left a comment. Someone who I very much appreciate, who's been a supporter for a very long time, left a comment on the video saying that, well, you know, if the comments bother you that much, just have the AI read them. Like, absolutely not. Like, that's, you know, half the reason I do this is because I get to talk to people. Just because, you know, one or two people every couple of videos might say something that is negative and deserved doesn't mean I don't want to read all the comments. Like, come on, man. I'm glad you're here. Genuinely. Even if you don't like what I'm doing here, thankfully you take the time to watch these videos and try to help me be a better beaver player. I just know it's frustrating when you know people don't do what you want them to do. But please do know that I am genuinely trying. I am genuinely caring about you and your well-being, and I'm thankful that you are here. So let's move on, because there's nothing good is going to come of me spending any more time with that. We have to have more haulers. We just absolutely must. Oh, you know what? I forgot about this building. But it does add more population. It's just, oh man, this is such a good building. It doesn't make any more beavers, but it gives 10. You know what I miss? Long time ago, was it update 5? Update 4, update 5 water beavers. There was just a giant tower. I want to say... Oh, I know this model got reused somewhere. I don't remember what it was, but there was a giant tower that was literally just like a big tower, like a big round thing, that employed like 50 haulers. It was awesome. I think the only thing we have at this point that could even match that would be to get these hauler bots made, but you and I both know that's going to take a long time to get there. We are not anywhere close to having that done. Alright, my god, we have to get something done. We're 16 minutes into this video. Alright. I think what kicked this off was the whole sunflower oil production thing and not having another, what do you call it? Anyway, I digress. We have got a lot of rice. We have a lot of sunflowers planted, and some of them aren't even being picked up. Which, I don't know if that's an issue of just these farmers possibly needing the help of a farmer upgrade, or something else. Because I know we've got, I mean, this adds 3 more beavers, and it adds 2 farmers, which, you know, that's a good thing. Honestly, these guys are just, I think, so busy with their rice, they haven't really, you know, done much else. Alright, these guys have enough range to get to most of these things. If I was going to upgrade one with extra farmers, it probably would have to be these guys, and then these guys can just do whatever. I think we're at the point in the playthrough now where the most responsible thing to do is just not worry quite so much about the amount of beavers. As long as we can feed them and keep them hydrated, it shouldn't matter. But we have so many things that are, I guess we should say, antiquated, suboptimal setups, that it's very, very, very hard to make any progress without completely derailing everything. And because of the way that I structure these where I don't edit anything, it's not like, you know, just you playing by yourself where you can, you know, just set it to run on 3 times speed for an hour and come back later. Like, no. We do this in real time. That's, for better or for worse, that's the way that I've had this set up, and that's the way we're going to keep doing it. I just need more hauling beavers. Which, you know, is what it is. Is what it is. Can't spend too much more time worrying about it. We've got space over here now that these have been more or less handled, that I would be cautiously optimistic about putting a farm area in. However, knowing that we have a need for chestnuts at some point into the future to grow, and this area probably can't really support anymore, maybe what we should do is put in chestnut trees over here and just figure out a way to configure it so that we're going to lose a minimal quantity of them to any amount of bad water coming in. Because now this does go through here, and that is not really close to where we have any farmable space. So maybe if we put in the buildings that would actually, you know, be responsible for this, maybe that makes sense. Now, if I were to put in, there's so many options for this. I know it's irritate the crap out of you guys. Irrigation Lodge is a tower building. That is an option that we do have. If I were to put something like right here, and if I were to feed this with the pollution resistance factor that we're apparently not making quite enough of, then this would essentially protect the trees that we would be planting here, at least in the most vulnerable of areas. But that would consume a lot of pollution resistance factor that we maybe don't want to do that with. That being said, if we're going to hit pause so they don't build it, if we did something like this, putting an irrigation lodge in, and then having a triangle building like, for example, a farmhouse that could also be used to grow some other stuff here, then maybe we could have a farm for some sunflower seeds. That's an option. If instead we had the irrigation lodge and we put in the, where is it? The harvester's cottage, then this would be a perfect location for another farm for chestnut trees. Probably, thank you, autosave, probably better than this. So I'm kind of, I'm kind of in 2 minds about this right now. This would be very doable. It'd be totally fine. I worry that only putting a single farmhouse with an upgrade on it for the tower purposes maybe not be the best thing to do. But it would be better than nothing. So, cautiously, if we were to do this, and we were to plant sunflowers, they take let's say 6 2/3-ish days to grow. One farmhouse obviously can't do enough to get that taken care of. But if we blast this out, and I tried to do something like this earlier, and I think some people didn't like that idea, but if I put 2 farmhouses here, I can upgrade this with a tower thing, like 4 haulers, for example, and have an additional farmhouse next to it with no minimal, I can't words, negative effect. I think that might be the best thing that we can do. I don't want to do a, man, I am having a horrible time trying to use my words today. I don't want to do this because, one, that's kind of excessive, and 2, we're not that far away from a zip line here, and it would not be a terribly difficult thing to just have something else, say, right here that could connect to another station or something. Now, the floating balloon zipline pylon, somebody suggested as a very good thing to start implementing once we research it. That would help a lot, because that would allow us to get 3 connections to one point and then come over to some other thing. 2, it looks cool, and, you know, sometimes that's enough. So, now that I have thoroughly frustrated a good portion of people who watch these videos, I guess we can move on. I'm just going to do this, because I can't really find any reason not to. And, you know, sometimes that's just, you know, is what it is. So this is going to get, for lack of a better way to do this, is just going to get a staircase there. Oh, so close. So close. That's fine. We'll just get this hooked up here. I do think, you know, chestnuts and sunflowers are both important, but this is really, really going to help us out, having all of this just be sunflowers. Because we need them. And have them we shall once this gets fully taken care of. Ideally, this never gets bad water in it again. Ideally. You and I both know that isn't always how this works. So, again, for lack of a better way to explain this, I'm just going to do it. Just gonna do it. So obviously this can reach some more spots. I do want this to be another farmhouse at some point, which means I'll need to keep this unplanted. Well, not need. Need is a very strong term. But this is going to help us out a lot. Now, because we have access right here to power, I think it might not be a bad idea for us to also have a dedicated... Why can I never remember where anything is? Screw press. This is a building that is a levee and also requires power, and the power for that is on this bottom floor. I don't think we want it completely submerged. And I also don't think this... Yeah, this is definitely not enough power to run this thing and this thing, especially not at the same time. But we're not that far away from having this completely hooked up. It would be better than nothing. That's what I will tell you. What I will also tell you is that trying to shoehorn it in here is probably not smart. So we can have them just come upstairs and have it connected to power somewhere. Remember that this is active here. I can bring power over if I just kind of modify this a little bit. This is where I get roasted again for not putting the adaptive or whatever the power shaft mod is that works with this that reverts these back to something else. I don't know. I'm really afraid of breaking this playthrough by adding anything else. Universal power shaft gone here would allow this to come up and over. As long as I have enough clearance, it is so hard. I wish I could change the camera angles easier. Yeah, get this over here would not be the worst thing ever, and I could actually have this kind of close. Maybe what I should do instead is just not worry about it and move on, but we both know that's not really going to be possible. Ugh, alright, well, you know what? I can't have this game paused any longer. People are going to come burn down my house. So let's move on. Gotta find something to do with all of this. Someone left a comment, said I need to have more workers in here to take full advantage of the range. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But we have so much scrap metal. We don't need any more scrap metal right now. We really don't. So we can just kind of let this be what it's got to be and move on. I need to be careful how I do this so I don't flood anything. 'Cause I did say earlier in the video that I wanted to put dam upgrades on top of here, but I realized that's going to flood this. So instead of upgrading, I think we just need to blow this down. We did talk about doing that. All right, we are planting chestnut trees. This has, you know, a decent extra bit of range. I wonder if putting a, putting another staircase here would not be a bad idea. That would allow us to get just a few more chestnut trees. How many more besides this? Now, why is this not showing? Like, it just... Alright. Oh, man, I am so sorry. This is a horrible episode. Any rate, I need... Well, I don't need... Need is a strong term. I don't need the Harvester's Cottage. Technically, I can do this with just Gatherer's Flag. That doesn't add anything. Yeah, you know, I'm just going to put one of these here. It says building flooded. It'll work in a little tiny bit of water like this. That's fine. Oh, so many things to fix. So many things to fix. It's actually legitimately difficult to do this while also recording it and have it not be horrible. That's why a lot of this stuff is really disorganized, because I'm trying to do a billion things at once. Okay, talked about sunflower oil production. Somebody asked if the covered walkways can go on top of power shafts. I said I did not know, so we're going to find out together. Ooh, okay. Okay, boys and girls. That is potentially a very, very helpful thing for us to put exactly right here. I like that. Another thing, somebody wanted to see some gravity batteries up here, and you know what? We can do that. We have the light gravity batteries. If we had 400 science, we could research the regular ones, which do give us 10,000 HPH per meter. This is only 1,300. And then if we have our depleted uranium, then it gives us 30,000. But we don't have access to this right now, and this is cheap enough, assuming I've got ropes, which I do. Do I want to trust the beavers to do this fast enough to actually make a difference? Probably not. But it's almost the end of the workday, so guess what? I'm going to just roll with it. Going to put one of these in here. It'll help. You know, how much it'll help, I'm not really sure. But it will do something. And that's what matters. Somebody else commented that we need another farmhouse near the district center because these guys aren't able to take care of everything. I guess. We did spend a decent amount of time talking about how having more farmers over here would be great. They obviously have not finished this yet, but they're about to. You know, I guess, like, I've said this so many times, I feel like I'm a broken record, but a lot of these things, you know, just kind of have to be what they're going to be, and it's not necessarily a super inspiring thing to say, but that's, you know, that's how it goes. This zipline station with a single farmhouse connected to it right here, which would block this off. Not that big of a deal because this is being produced here. Would not be the worst thing ever, but it would block off this staircase, which I did very much like being here. You know, at this point, I've made so many, well, you guys would probably call them mistakes. I might call them creative choices, that it kind of, in my opinion, doesn't really matter if I keep doing more stuff that, you know, you might not like. So I'll tell you what, that is absolutely not where that can go. This has to be a regular staircase because this is going to be the front of a... Nope, 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 I can't do this. I have to actually plan this, or else it's going to be horrible. This is not... Yeah, that is worse than I thought it was going to be. That has to be... Oh, man. These upgradable towers, man. I'm telling you. Oh, they're the best thing ever, and they're also the worst thing ever because it just completely melts my brain. Please count yourself as fortunate that you have a more functional brain than I do. Please never take it for granted. That is... Not gonna lie, it makes me kind of sad. But it is what it is. Can't be perfect at everything. So that getting connected there, I think, is fine. What this is going to end up doing instead is just coming along this way. I hope somebody can actually reach this and we have that going. Anyway, what I really wanted to check and see about doing is putting this on here. Thank God. I was going to lose it if this was blocked by something. So there you go. More haulers on the network. A single farmhouse right here is going to help. It does not have to be doubled, does not have to be upgraded. Oh boy, that's going to take them a long time to do those, so we're going to leave that alone. They have not even gotten remotely close to here because they haven't built that because they don't have planks. And that was another thing somebody said is, yeah, you don't have enough planks. You got to make more planks. Well, you know what? You're not wrong. So, here's what we are going to do. We're going to take a ladder. Oh, this is going to be difficult. Okay, this... Oh, I want to pause the game so bad. I'm going to choose not to. Okay, this, having a ladder go up top, is going to allow me to put in a pile up here. Medium pile. And then this, instead of being a pile for sawdust, that is like that, I can do a pit pile coming off the top of this. That can be for... Oh, you know what? I wrote this down. I need to actually look at this. Okay, lumber storage on top of the lumber mill with one ladder, 2x2 for logs, and a 1x2 for saw blades. That is not what I ended up doing. Well, I already have the saw blade stuff here. But if this is the sawmill storage, and I've got this here, this holds 44. I guess we could make that into log storage, and this could be plank storage. Maybe not exactly what you had in mind, but I did like the idea of having the ladder come up here. So, you know, I appreciate you guys bearing with me in my proclivities to doing stupid things with this. Alright. Paper mill also should have a storage nearby for sawdust. That could be very easily done in a pile up here. That is that's a good thing to have. This is not connected because the ladder's not done. Paper and sawdust needs storage. Tell you what, let's do this. Let's flip that. And then I do need a paper storage here, so why don't we just... There we go. Why don't we just do that? This will help. It will make things at least a tiny bit better. So, we probably long-term do need to have another rudimentary sawmill, but I think a lot of the issue here is just, once again, not having stuff in the right spot. So I really want to click this prioritize by haulers thing, but you know what? If I do, I'm wrong, and if I don't, I'm wrong. So we'll just move on from there. This has been... Yeah, it's waiting on planks. All right. Screw press axles, more screw press. Why do I still have two of these making screw press axles? I feel like the really, really dumb mistakes. That one's not prioritized. This one's not prioritized. Neither of them have methane. So many planks, so many planks. I need planks. What's this one doing? Sawdust. I really should not be having another one of these do sawdust, I'll tell you what. Because we are that hard up for planks, I can see no other reasonable alternative but to put in another log gnawing station to make planks. We don't exactly have the extra beavers. We kind of do, but we don't. They will filter... Hey, there's me. They'll filter out of the scavenger flags. That should be okay. Okay, so the farmhouse is done, and they're planting sunflowers, which is great. That needs to be set to pollution resistance factor. I don't think these really use that much. I just get paranoid about it. Okay, 1 every 4 hours. Well, this is really just an insurance policy against this for bad tides, so I guess it's not the end of the world to just have this on. That should be alright. So many things, so little time, so little planks, honestly. Okay. We need storage for exotic seeds. That was something I was going to talk about a long time ago, and then I got, like, completely distracted. Okay, that's the scouting balloon. This, click please. This is the exotic seed. This can hold 25. It has nowhere else to go. Does that go in a pile? Does it go in a storage? Does it go in a glorious storage? I feel like we talked about this last time and I completely forgot. Does not go in a pile. Glorious storage does not, so it must go in a warehouse. If we are choosing to apply logic to this, which we know is not always a good thing. Alright. So that's the store 36. We know that we have to have 50 to build the tree nursery. We have to have 1,000 science to unlock it. We have, you know, minus the planks, we actually have a decent amount of the rest of this. I obviously can't unlock it yet, but you know how it goes. Oh, this needed to be adjusted. This was something somebody was talking about. Sawdust low alert needs to be set not to 10%, but to like... They said 80. I'm not going to do 80. I'm going to leave it at 50. Okay, that seems like it's okay. This is operating just fine. I know we're missing an opportunity to grow some stuff here. You know what? Just because we just need more of this stuff, I'm just going to plant more sunflowers here. Because why not? Okay, these guys are saying they have nothing to do because one of these has not been planted as a red cabbage, which can be put somewhere in range of this. Yeah, that's in range. That's fine. So there we go. Oh, I talked a long time ago about moving this around. I have not done that yet. This is paused. That doesn't need to be paused. Maybe it does because we weren't making enough of these other things. Berries, berries, berries. We need more berries. We need more of everything. That's like the never-ending Waterbeavers thing is you just need more. Okay. Here's an easy one we can do. We can rebuild the news board because I removed it from over here. Why don't we... Can they reach this? Probably not. Why don't we just put this here, because we're not doing anything else with it. That is going to cover a decent portion of beavers. Clean up the crater exit mess. You know, honestly, like, what do you want me to do here? Like, I don't have any idea what else would work. I really don't. Changing fermentation houses to barrels would be a smart idea. Yes, absolutely. But I gotta have somewhere for it to go. Do not have somewhere for it to go. Put in additional architects' lodges. Yes, splendid idea. However, comma, gotta have somewhere for it to go. So I guess best I can do at this point is just another one of these things. Flip that back to the correct spot. That will get us to 5, by the way. Making, yeah, see, these are prioritized. These are prioritized. I got so many things prioritized. I don't know. It's like times like this where I feel like I'm really in over my head. I'm over my skis, whatever your thing is, and I just like really am not any good at this. I don't know, but if you guys are still watching these videos and I got to be doing something right, either that or you just really want to feel better about yourself, which, you know, that's okay. People go through things and they have to self-medicate in healthy ways, and this is probably one of the better ones. But I digress. Apparently I live in a methane factory. Okay, this has been put in. I was going to put in another hauler upgrade on top of this. Honestly, 300-something beavers. Let's take a look at the jobs. No, that's population. That's not the right one. In terms of actual dedicated hauling, I have... Why are these not showing up as jobs? Because it's named something else. Small tower upgrade haulers. Okay. So by the time this is done, we'll have 20. Plus the ones living in the individual lodges, which are... doesn't really tell me. We actually don't have very many. In fact, I think it's only just this one and this two, so we have another 3. Tall and narrow lodge I think counts as 1, so we're up to 4 extras. Okay, so you know what? It wouldn't be such a bad thing for us to put another hauler's upgrade on top of this. Now, whether that's a great thing or not because we don't have convenient, super close zipline access, I don't know. You know, you can yell at me if you want, but I'm going to put another one of these in here. I don't think there's any downside to doing this. I know there's a slope up here to get up to this area. I don't know that we need to be that worried about keeping that there. We could, and I could just put the other farmhouse I wanted to build somewhere over here. For now, this one might be okay to take care of this, just because it's a single crop and there's not a ton of it. Might be okay. Did we ever expand this all the way down? Or was I... Okay, yes, we did. This is 2 blocks deep to try and prevent backflow. It may still backflow. We're only going to find out when we get to the next bad tide, and that is unfortunately not going to be a fun thing. I guess I just have to have both these. I'm telling you, nothing gets done unless you prioritize it by haulers. Oh, we're low on water. Okay, alright. We need more pumping. I know we have extra pump ability stuff if we have the Grand Dam, but it's going to be so long before we get to that. I do kind of want to just keep this as a straight line thing, but we're going to run out of... we're going to run out of the ability to really do too much of this before too long. Even so, if I just blast here, these 5, that will get us somewhere like what we're trying to do. Then I can put in 2 more deep water pump bases and 2 more deep water pump upgrades, which, yes, is going to increase our population, but is also going to increase the amount of water we can pump. 8-day drought, we know we can, you know, pump basically everything that's left through here. That'll be easy to do. They were quick to do this. Alright. Well, well, well. How the turntables. Let's put these in here. And... put those in there. It'll be fine. They'll build it eventually. This has been completely filled with haulers. This is still filled with haulers. And we should, in short order, have this, which is also going to be filled with haulers. We need more planks. Tell me something I don't know. This has been working. Okay, this is, it's working alright. I don't really have too many complaints about that. This seems to be doing alright. Paper's actually kind of thriving a little bit. Oh, these are dry. Okay. See, that is a little bit of a problem with how I have this set up. I think we can kind of solve... or at least make this less terrible by blasting this out. Shouldn't be too long for the builders to put this in. Because we do have water up here, and it is not being pumped. I just need this to show up over here to keep these trees from dying out. That would be very, very helpful. Please do not get exploded. Very good. This can be pretty easily reconnected by just doing that very ugly thing. Yeah, you know what? This didn't help at all. Not one iota. Alright, well... how much of this is going to evaporate in the next 7 days? Probably all of it, huh? Yeah, that's, not gonna lie, that's pretty frustrating. This is... yeah, that's gonna be blocked just fine there. Man, what am I doing? Oh, boy. What am I doing? What am I doing? Nothing good. Okay, did they build the gravity battery yet? They did. Alright. This, as predicted, is not really needed, but still a nice thing to have. At least these are going again, now that we finally have stuff being prioritized in here. Yep, methane was kind of the whole problem that we had, huh? It's alright. I want to put something else here, I really do. And this feels like it would have been a good spot to put a harvester's something or other, but... you know, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe that is the only reasonable thing I can do. And I know it's going to add more... I know it's going to add more beavers. What kind of extra range will this get? Oh! Okay, you know what? That's actually really helpful because it's going to also include, I don't know if you can see, a lot of those berries over there. All right, I can justify doing that. But what's not going to work is putting a tower on top of this. And you know why? You absolutely know why. However, comma, you gotta try. You got to. God, this is the worst trying to place this. Yeah, okay, so this, if I were going to do that, would have to have another, whatever you call it. Would have to put something close enough and high enough to clear these pumps, and it might not want to do it. Alright, well, you know how this goes. I have discovered something that I could possibly solve by doing something extremely dumb, and I'm going to have to try it out. Will this connect? Survey says yes. Will they be able to build this? We're going to find out. The problem I'm going to run into is double platform, single platform. I'm not sure if this will clear. The only way we're going to know. That says it might. Okay, well. I did. Come on. Oh, for crying out loud. There. I guess this works. Sure. Why not? That'll allow me to tower on top of this. Alright, do I want another Hauler Lodge upgrade? Do I want another builder upgrade? I probably don't want another builder upgrade. Do I want a... on top of the zipline thing, do I want a zipline upgrade? I do not think the answer to that question is yes. But I also don't really have much else I could put up there. We don't have the viewing spot upgrade like we used to. Unless it is hidden somewhere else that I don't know about. Balloon thing's not really a deal. This isn't really a deal. That's two adjacent triangle roof buildings that don't want that. Yeah, you know, is this about to just be a ridiculous, stupid amount of hauler upgrades? Well, for the time being, I guess this is okay. Just leave it the best we can. We can always upgrade this and then put another zipline something or other. We could change this to be a zipline thing, but it would have to be upgraded to something else. Yeah, not gonna lie, this one really irritates me. I thought this was gonna be... Oh, I thought it was gonna be a big improvement, and it was not. In the slightest. I need... Honestly, I probably need to blast this down one more level. And then get it closer. I don't know. There's just so many things going on. So many things going on. All right, I gotta salvage this. Come on. Talked about flattening the forest as soon as I had enough wood. I don't know, honestly, that I could realistically get rid of this anytime soon. Are these all marked for cutting? They are not. Okay, well. If you already left a comment saying that I have not marked all these for cutting, I want you to know I appreciate you and I thank you for being very attentive. But it is not necessary because we just marked those. Alright, so we got that going for us. That's nice. How far away are we from having this? Like, I know it needs 1,000 science. We don't have 1,000 science yet. The seeds are going to be what takes the longest amount of time, even though this is not really a tremendously slow thing. It's 2.5 days. Per 5. I do think it's going to be something that's going to get annoying really quick. Alright, I need to have another thing that's going to compress library books, and I don't have anywhere to do it. This is a... Okay, of course I wouldn't have built that as a universal. I was going to say, that's not... That's not... Where in the world... I mean, I could put one here. That would not be the worst thing ever. It wouldn't be a great spot for it. It absolutely would not. But I have certainly done much worse. Okay, scaffoldings. I just need to actually use these. Let's do this. I don't know that they can reach this. We're gonna have to. And I have to T-intersection that. If they can reach this from below, that'd be great. It'd be fantastic. Okay, they can. Good. Makes me feel better about myself. Alright, this here is... yeah, this is probably not the right way to do this, but I'm just gonna do this. Why not? This one's going to be set to book mode, just because it's close enough. Somebody, this one made me laugh. They're also like, "What's up with these stairs?" Well, they connect to places. That's the way it goes. Again, not a great spot for it to go, but it's there. It's fine. But this, you know what, actually did remind me this wasn't hooked up there. So good looking out. Appreciate it. Everything else is looking okay. They should be making half-fermented sake. Yeah, they are drinking this at the earliest possible opportunity. Do not blame them at all. Okay, well, when these trees start dying out, I guess... Ah, they're only 30. This makes me so mad, man. Oh, I wish I'd done such a better job with this. You know, people don't want to watch me do stupid things with this. I want it to be good. I genuinely do. Like, please understand. I'm not trying to make things really stupid. I really am not. Okay, that's been moved. This is now eligible to have an upgrade. We are at minus 30 jobs. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. How many times do I say that in an episode? Oh, why is this not showing up? Okay. I'm going to... Don't tell me this backside is the problem. The backside's the problem. The front side wasn't. Oh, man. Alright. This is probably, if I had to guess, there, because that's the limit of the pylon and not the building it was attached to. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Yeah. See, this is what happens. This is what happens when you use the upgrades on the building with the zipline station in it. Okay, this is gonna turn me into the Joker. I'm gonna have to take the zipline station out and put something else underneath it. I was afraid this was gonna happen. What do I want to put here? I really don't need an irrigation tower. I don't need a forester. Zipline station by itself is actually fine. But putting this here as a zipline tower would actually be better, because I could get rid of this and this and this and connect directly to there, and then this would also allow me to connect to another thing over here. And that would also, you know what, alright. It just seems like such a huge waste to have a zipline station connected to a zipline station. Even though this upgrade... No, the upgrade wouldn't make that usable anyway. Alright, I know we talked about... this is such a mess, I'm so sorry. I don't know what else I can do, honestly. Seamstress Sludge would work in this exact spot right here. Obviously, I can't have it doing the trick I was showing you earlier, but do I want to be making shoes, sandals? It looks like the bottom of shoes. I mean, I guess I could afford to make shoes. I got enough rope. You know what? Why not? Get out of there. Get out of there. Go do something else. Why not? We're making shoes. We're making shoes. And then I'm going to put this on the top. Just like that. Which means this doesn't have to be here. Which means this, not that. This doesn't have to be here. Which means, you know what? It probably does have to be there. Oh, man. Oh, God. All right. I know I complain a lot. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry, but I am at least a little bit. These having different distances absolutely tilts me. I know why you did it. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just saying it. It really fries my brain. Okay. So there you go. Yet another zipline station upgrade has been ordered. Is what it is. It will make things better. We are pumping up a storm here, and it is not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. So we need to really be channeling more water in here. Okay, so this is our real test here. These sunflowers are all grown up. And this guy cannot keep up. All by himself, cannot keep up. Well, I should have expected that. I think it is probably time to build that second farmhouse. Right there. And that is going to block off our slope here, but that is okay. We can always get in from this side. Alright. Let's prioritize this, because this is important. Let's get them in here to pop that in. They're not going to do that anytime soon, are they? Okay, we do have exotic seeds in here that hold 36. This will hold 25. That's going to be enough. Science is a continual concern. We're making science, actually. It's working decently well. This has not been built. Of course, it's planks. It's always planks. Alright. Sawdust should not be a problem, but now we are kind of getting full up on it. That's just a copy sludge. This is getting full of sawdust. See, now I don't need this making sawdust. But I know it's going to be a problem if I change this to also making planks. I know it's going to be a problem. But the planks one also makes sawdust. Now this is too full. Okay, this needs to be unautomated. I know. Look, I'm trying. I really am. Okay. This is a problem. Sawdust storage is... I just need more storage, honestly. This scrap metal storage being empty, guess what? That is now sawdust storage. This is about to... Oh, I can't have this be dry. 1.7 days. You know... Okay, because these are like little whiny babies that die in point... Wait, 8 days drought resistance? Then what... Oh, what am I thinking of? Green peas. Okay, well... Shows how much I know. What am I doing here? Well, at least this is doing something. What's this waiting on? Of course it's waiting on planks. Everything's waiting on planks. My concern with not making another rudimentary sawmill is I'm going to have too much sawdust that I'm not able to use. I do not want to set all of my mushroom growers to consume sawdust, because that just creates a different problem. 50 HP. Where am I going to put another one of these, honestly? This is a rope maker. This is another thing. I was very convinced I needed this, and then I built it, and then people were like, why'd you build that? You don't need one. I'm not out of ropes, though. So we got that going for us. Sheesh. What am I doing? Does this connect on the bottom? No, it's at a completely different spot. Okay. See, this wouldn't fit here anyway. This wouldn't fit anywhere, honestly. Wait, this flips? Is this supposed to flip? I feel like that's not supposed to be a thing. Yeesh. Okay, I can't put it there anyway. Where am I supposed to put this? Where in the world am I supposed to put another one of these things? I do not have room for it. I had one up here that I removed because it was in a horrible spot, and now, like, my first instinct is to just put it here again, which cannot possibly be the best option. It can't. There's no way. Not a chance. Alright, well, man, I opened up a whole can of worms on this, huh? Whole can of worms. Well, this is about to be irrigated again, but it's going to die in 0.9 days, and this is going to have 0.8 days left. There's no chance this survives. Yep, we're starting to lose them. Alright. What am I supposed to do with all of this? Alright. Tell you what, we have to start deepening this if we're going to be planting any amount of... what's it called? Bamboo. What? Alright, yeah, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. This is not good. Alright, we're about to run out. That is somehow bad water over here, I guess, left over because we pumped enough of the good water out. Well, that tells you it was at least a tiny bit contaminated, so maybe pumping this completely out, letting that dry would not be the worst thing ever. I am kind of... Oh, I never blasted this out. Okay, well, you know what? That's a good thing I never did, because this bad water would have gone all the way down to the bottom. Alright, well, we'll have to set that off. We'll have to set that off. You know what, folks? I feel like I'm going to have to... I'll try to do a couple more things. I might just have to cut this one at like an hour-ish. I do not think I'm in the right kind of headspace to do a good job with this video. We're still getting stuff done. It's just not going to be a very good one. Talked about the gravity batteries, talked about the fermentation houses with the pearls. I have nowhere to put those, so I'm not doing that right now. No idea about how to fix that. Talked about deepening the river. That is something that I could do, and I kept getting distracted about this. It probably would not be a bad idea to deepen this entire thing. I don't know that I can do that with these stilts here. It doesn't seem to care, so you know that could be an option for us. All right, this is very much about to be completely sucked dry. I guess that is fine. So that means all the bad water is gone, except this is still kind of polluted here. What could possibly be? I guess it's just whatever's left in the bottom there. All right. Very interesting problem to have just randomly come across here. So I guess whatever's down here is completely poison. This is completely dry. There's a little tiny bit here. Ironically, the bad water is not accessible by the bad water pump. Somebody did leave a comment about connecting these, but this has to, as far as I know, suck through the fan here. That's not gonna, do anything. So I am gonna hit pause real quick. I am just very curious. Yeah, this is basically negligible in terms of the amount of bad water in here, and I really hope this is gonna evaporate before we get more water in here. But something tells me it's not going to. Oh, it's gone! Beautiful. Wonderful. I mean, theoretically it's gone. We all know it's probably not, but it's probably fine. Alright. Okay for kaboom. This area is clean at least. Alright, so that's going to water this area a lot more efficiently. These are drying out. They are not dried out. They are fine. This is ready to get K for kaboomed. Yeah, this guy definitely could use some help, so I was, I guess, right to try and put another farmhouse in here. And there you go. That'll help that. They still have not replaced the thing here, and that is waiting on nothing. It's waiting on labor. Alright. These, assuming this never gets bad water in it again, will continue to spread naturally, and this can, like I said, once this zipline thing gets rebuilt, harvest a bunch of these and those, so that is fine. Alright, so these... I didn't want these to get replanted. Oh, I have not done a good job at all. Not at all. Not at all. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna have to blast this down. Alright, these are going to have to go away. That is 54%. I guess I could have them actually finish those, but these 3% ones, no, those can go. These can be removed. That is 4%, and then I can just go ahead and blast this down, so at least we won't have to worry about that later. 54, 55. Okay. Alright. Alright. This, we know. That will be good. Let's come over here, put these explosives down, let it be what it's got to be. We're making sandals, which that's a well-being thing, if you don't remember. That was part of the possessions category. When we get closer, I don't think I want to replant any of these on this top level. So why don't I go ahead and unmark those? Because I do want to blow this up. Blow this down, I guess. Talked about that. This, however, these chestnuts I will replant here, because those should dry out a lot less, given how this is set up. Probably not a bad idea to go ahead and just put ourselves a little bit of a hold water inator over here. That should be fine. Can this not reach there? It cannot. Okay. Well, when this gets blown up, it'll be easier. That's fine. That's fine. I really need to blast this down, but I don't want to mess with that quite yet. This is completely full down here. It should be. I don't know that that's made any sort of tangible difference in the amount of stuff that's being irrigated here. Okay, man, I got a lot of these. Also, we're out of water somehow. Okay, these are supposed to be pumping. I know it's nighttime. They're not working. Okay, I lost count. We got like close to 20 of these. That should be hopefully enough for 362 beavers, if the sign is to be believed. How not to die of thirst. Come on. Pretty sure it was one of these is, yeah, that's 20 beavers. So, if I have 20 times 20, you don't have to have a math degree to know that that's 400. So, actually, I should probably actually count these. 19. Okay, close enough. But we're also using water for industrial processes. I can't add any more in a line here, which means I'm going to have something else. I may have to start building on this side as well. I'll tell you what. I know I said I was going to have to end this episode here in a little bit, but I think it may be worth blasting out another oh, why can't I remember what any of this is called? Another row of things. I'm going to leave this open for these blueberries to spread, but I do think I want to put another, yeah. You know what I'm talking about, even if I don't. Okay, for kaboom. Start building on this side. Having it centralized makes sense. Okay, that, and that. I know it's adding population. You literally can't do anything else with this. It just has to be what it has to be. And this is the spot that probably makes the most sense, right next to a zipline station. So on and so forth. This, like I said, can... Okay, it's fewer than it did before when it was next door. But, still counts. Can't really do anything with these, but it does technically have access to some that are connected fully. Oh, it's too bad not any of this, but... Oh well, that's what it is. Alright, K for kaboom. That should help irrigate those just a little bit longer. We talked about that. That's going to get, hopefully, next episode, something done to it. We got 35 exotic seeds. That is, nothing to sneeze at. Have they started accumulating? Yes, they have. Very good. I need that to be 200 to make one set. So that's fine. I know we're using the books for, yeah, we're using the books for that, so I probably have to have the library back to making books. Oh, I forget everything. Jeez, I had this making ENS architectural blueprints, but I guess it hasn't even started yet. That's unfortunate. I really thought this had already started. Okay, that's 16 2/3 days. What else but planks could possibly be causing this? Alright, did I start making the mechanical blueprints? Okay, good. Did they make one? No, they're waiting on sunflower oil and planks. Okay. Alright, well that's not good, but it's also, not nearly as bad as it could have been. I feel a little bit better about that. These two guys are, doing their best, I suppose. Probably could stand to have an upgrade, but you can't do both. So that seems to be okay. They are working on getting these cleaned up. I've got scaffoldings now. I can actually do this. I think this is going to be enough for what I'm trying to do. Make sure these are all deep pumps. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. All right. We may have redeemed ourselves here. Come on. Come on. Click on the spot where you... Okay. There we go. Oh, nope. There. Alright, so that adds 9. So we're at math, 28. And this is going to add another 15 beavers. So not perfect, but it is an improvement. And it's still reasonably close to what we're trying to do. I probably am going to take this beaver jail out because we really don't need quite so many in here and put in one more tank. Yeah, let's do that. And that will help. Won't be perfect because nothing ever is. But it will help. And this is progressing to some degree. I'm going to have to be diligent about putting the explodey bits in. And it may not end up being that great of a strategy to do this way. But I do want to make sure that this is ready when the time comes. And I don't have these little trees coming back in everywhere else. Hopefully, we can get to 50 exotic seeds before the next episode. We just got to 1,000 science, which makes me feel like, how in the world am I getting 40 spam calls a day? I'm going to throw my phone in the ocean, and I don't even live within a 4-hour drive. Alright, road trip time, I suppose. I don't even know how I get signed up for these stupid things. It's always like, you're pre-approved for a loan of it. Like, I didn't apply for anything. I have my credit locked down, dude. You can't do anything to me. Now, what was I talking about? I completely forgot. Well, that's the way that goes. Oh, jeez. What a horrible episode. I'm so sorry. Genuinely, you come in here, you spend 72 minutes watching me fumble around and forget how to exist as a human being. Alright, it is what it is. What in the world was I going to do? Was I going to change this to, was I going to change this back to books? I feel like I probably need to. Yeah, let's do that. Still love that sound. Yeah, I need them to make more library books. So we're going to let that be what it's got to be there, and... Oh, what else? What else? I know I need more planks. I have nowhere else to put one of these. Talked about flattening the forest. We talked about... Okay, well, we did do most of this. I think this is about the best I can do. I really do. Alright, well... Yeah, I'll just keep adding some more of these things. We can be pretty satisfied with most of this, I feel like. Hopefully we never get any more bad water in here again. I guess we'll find out when the next bad tide comes in, because we did deepen this. Maybe it's worth deepening it again. Have it be 3 deep, but I think 2 deep should be enough. Ugh. Alright, but we gotta end this one here. Like there's nothing else good I can accomplish doing this any more than I already have. So I appreciate you being here, and I know this wasn't a good one, but you know, they're not always going to be. Sometimes, you know, just factors outside of your control, you're not going to be in the right kind of a frame of mind to do a good job every single day. But I appreciate you being here anyway. Beard Boosters subsidize this, whatever you want to call this at this point. But I really do appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys sticking through things even when they're not great. And whatever it is the rest of the day that you're doing, stay safe, have fun, be kind to people, and we'll see you again in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.